Hello folks, welcome to the holiday edition of Appalachia at Ya. We've got a lot to cover today. We'll be talking about tasks for December, hobby garden, natural resources, and much more, highlighting some hunting seasons, and talking about some new and exciting programming coming at the first year in extension. So without further ado, let's dive on in. All right, happy holidays and Merry Christmas, folks. This is Ronnie Cowan here on another episode of Appalachia at Ya. We took a short break in Thanksgiving to do some recreating. Your boy here partaked in some of the holiday tradition, the Cowan family going out to our journey out into the deer woods. A little bit different kind of seasons for me, but we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I did have some fun in this Tennessee deer season. First, let's kick off the show, as we do every show, talking about some educational material. If you have an interest in hobby farming, gardening, we have some tasks for you in December. So if you have any remaining fall cool season crops, like lettuce, chard, and beets, they can be harvested now, should be being picked. The chard and beets can be less cold hardy than kale and spinach in some areas. So make sure that you're picking that lettuce, chard, and beets. I love some greens. It's a great time. This cold weather, have some of those good collard green seasoned with some nice pork and smoked turkeys and the ham hocks incorporated in it. That's some fine eating there if you have it. Take stock of the complete gardening season and make sure you have good records of problems encountered and control practices that worked well. So keep a good garden journal. That'll help you for the next year upcoming planting season. If you had any issues with insects, disease, which me being an extension agent here in this great county of Blount County, I know that there's a lot of issues to be had every year. So keeping a good, accurate journal can help you be more successful in the following growing season. Sort and count any remaining seeds to determine what may need to be ordered. So collect your seeds, count them up, be thinking ahead, have good planting skills. Talk about what you may want to plant next year. If you didn't like that variety, you may can order some different kind of seeds. I know I'm very peculiar about my cucumbers. So when it's talking cucurbit, I always like to have the right varieties that I like. For example, cucumbers, I like them crisp. I don't like a thick hull, and I like them with a lot of with less seeds. So I have certain varieties that I'm tender to. So if you want to know more about different varieties for vegetables to plant in the spring, you can contact us here or contact your county extension office, and we can get you hooked up with the right kind of cultivars and different ones that might be right for you. And it may seem early, but December can be a great time to order seeds for your garden, especially those that you plan to grow as transplants. You need to clean any remaining stake, plants, or debris from the garden, excluding plants that you intend to overwinter, of course. Try to rotate this overwintering area of the garden to make sure that every section receives a cover crop as often as possible. You can check out previous episodes where we talked about good cover crops to help your soil bed. Clean and repair and store your garden tools for next year, and make sure to do any sanitation that remains for home fruit. So let's start talking about crop rotation. So many pathogens infect related plants, so rotation ensures that same families are not planted in the area too often. Rotation is effective against pathogens that survive in soil or on crop remains for a short period of time. We recommend to rotate away from a crop family for 3 years, which is called a 4-year rotation. And we have a great publication on home vegetable garden disease control, and that's a big part of it. So there are some common crop families. If you don't know what those crop families are, There's the carrot, celery, and parsnips in one family. The beet, spinach, and chards in one family. Cucumber, squash, pumpkin, and watermelon belong to the same family. Broccoli, mustard, Brussels sprouts, kale, collards, turnip, cabbage, and cauliflower all belong in the same family. Tomato and potato, potato, pepper, eggplant, they all belong to the same family. Chives, garlic, leek, and onions belong to the same family group. Beans, peas, and edamame belong to the same group. Lettuce and sunflower are actually in the same family group. So be cautious when you're planting those. We recommend that you don't plant those in the same spot continuously. You can rotate the area that you plant your carrots and change it to cucumber, or plant your tomatoes where you used to plant your cucumbers. Mix it up a little. Have some pathogen control. We can mention blueberries. Blueberries for the Tennessee gardens. Blueberries are often regarded as a lower maintenance crop for the home, but that being said, selection of site, soil, and cultivars are critical for success. So we have a lot of folks in Blount County in East Tennessee that enjoy blueberries and growing them at home. They are hardy, but you have to have the right conditions. And they grow best in soils with pH levels between 4.5 and 5.5. So that is very acidic. So you have the pH scale, you have 1 to 14. Everything below 7 is what we call acidic. Everything above 7 is what we call basic. So it likes an acidic soil. So that's not where you would plant. You know, most of the plants that we plant here are in that medium range, but blueberries is an exception. And they don't like their feet wet. That's what I like to tell folks when plants need well-drained soil. They do not like their feet wet. So good drainage. You want coarse to medium textured soils more often provide that desired draining. It's better than having fine textured and clayed soils. And they also prefer organic matter that is 3% or higher and often benefit from irrigation. So there's ways to acclimate your soil. If yours is not perfect, we can help you with soil tests and get that right growing medium for some specialty crop like blueberries. So the two types of blueberries that are commonly grown in Tennessee are high bush and rabbit eye. Rabbit eye blueberries are native to southern regions. They usually appear more heat and drought tolerant than northern high bush while having a longer lifespan. They also grow more vigorous and produce taller, mature fruit. There's a Tiff Blue, Premier, and Powder Blue have grown successfully for many years, with Titan and Auckland being newer cultivars under elevation. So high blueberries are native to moist or bog-like sites with high organic matter in the northeast. In mid and south Tennessee locations, they often prefer best at higher elevations. So if you want to grow blueberries, it's a good time, like I said, to be planning what you're wanting to do. So you can check us out at publication Selecting Blueberries for Residential Production in Tennessee. So we have the publication for you if you desire to be planting. So planting season for a lot of these bush and tree species are coming up. I like to plant them in late winter or very, very early spring. Is a critical time to get those in the ground. But we used to eat wild blackberries of the Vaccinium species, but these tamed cultivars, such as the ones that were just mentioned, can do a great job in your home planting. Speaking of horticulture, we have our Master Gardener series. Our intern class is about to kick off. So if you're interested in becoming a UT Extension Master Gardener in Blount County, that program, the Master Gardener program, is focused on volunteer development through training of individuals in all aspects of horticulture, primarily residential-based horticulture. The program brings together individuals with varied backgrounds, life experiences, who share an interest and passion for horticulture. Learning and sharing their knowledge with others, the Master Gardener intern program is taught over a 14-week period and it will begin January the 30th here at the Extension office on Tuesday mornings and ending on April the 30th. So the class, if you're interested in becoming a Master Gardener, will begin on January the 30th and will be ending on April the 30th. And that means a meeting each Tuesday, 9 to noon. It's a very intense course. It covers various topics with a formal text authored by a team of UT faculty members and specialists. The training format incorporates face-to-face and virtual methods to include on-site field trips to garden and greenhouses. If you become a Master Gardener, you will learn a great deal of information, researched information, dealing with horticulture. We have an application process. If you want to learn more, you can email me at rcowan2@utk.edu, or you can respond on our YouTube channel, Facebook Messenger, many platforms out there. Give us a call here at the Extension office, and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. The application is due January the 10th, and then there's an interview process after that. And if you're selected, we would love to have you as a volunteer functioning as a Master Gardener. Master Gardeners are a proud group. We have a very active group in Blount County. They do various projects throughout the county, helping with youth and adult. So if you have a passion to learn about everything horticulture, residential, growing plants, learning about vegetables, and really improving your knowledge about horticulture, and you wish to share that with other adults and youth, you can become a Master Gardener. So upon completion of the Master Gardener intern class, we ask that you return 40 hours of volunteer time back to the community through a variety of projects administered by our UT Extension staff. In years past, we have asked volunteers to maintain at least 25 hours of volunteer service to maintain that that certification as a UT Extension Master Gardener. And that may sound like a lot, but we have volunteers that contribute way above that 40-hour mark, and there's a lot for everybody to do. It's a great program, especially if you have that passion. The cost is $250. We also have some scholarships available, but if you would like to consider that, it's a great organization with a lot of impact on our local community. So if you wish to become a Master Gardener, contact us. You can give us a call at 865-982-6430, and that's extension number 2. So Mr. John Wilson and myself will be working with those volunteers and training them. It's really like a college course. It's very detailed horticulture information, and you'll be able to help us out, reach the needs of citizens in Blount County, and really do a lot of good work for our community. We have gardens, community gardens, projects that focus on youth, so there really is something for everybody. So if you wish to give back in gardening and plant sciences as your passion, Master Gardener may be for you. So contact us, and we can get you set up with an application or answer any questions that you may have regarding that awesome program. Right. Transitioning into some natural resource. I told you that I partake in the deer season that's going on now. Right now, we have a lot of great opportunity to be outdoors recreating into the great land in this East Tennessee region, the mountain land. So right now you have deer season that's in full swing. It is gun season. You have rabbit season that opened. Grouse, quail is currently open. Squirrel. So a lot of opportunities to get out and recreate, to adventure in the great outdoors if you want to try hunting or if you have that passion. But I was able to have some fun the week of Thanksgiving on my yearly pilgrimage to the deer woods. We were successful. Had a great friend of mine help me, able to harvest this nice 11-point buck the day before Thanksgiving. So it was a lot of fun doing a lot of hiking. I was helping to manage some property, so we were we were actually having a lot of fun doing that. As most of you know, I caught alpha-gal allergen, so I cannot eat venison or any mammals for that fact. So I had to give up venison, deer meat, steak, pork, all of it. But found out that messing with it really affects my allergies. So me being able to hunt by myself is over, which I certainly enjoy going out and doing it with friends and sharing that pastime much better. So we had a good time out there in the deer woods. But they were rutting pretty hard. For y'all that don't know, the rut is the period where it's breeding season for the deer. The bucks are chasing the does, and they were in full swing where I was hunting at. There's a lot goes into that period of rut. Weather, temperatures, a little bit. A lot of people associate that, but photo period, weather, a lot of factors go into the rut. But you'd be surprised how different it can be all across the state when that time is happening. But where I was at, it's in full swing. The deer were moving on those cold mornings, trying to find bucks were moving, trying to find a doe. But here in other parts of East Tennessee, I was out on some site visits yesterday and found that some of these deer have not fully rutted yet. So I saw some bucks this week where it looks like they were just starting to come into the rut. We saw some bucks that were chasing does that they have these dorsal glands that get black during the rut, and they were just starting to turn black. And so the deer that I was able to harvest a couple weeks ago was in full rut, and we'll have a show dedicated to more information about that. That can be its own show on the deer rut. But if you're out there recreating and you haven't had a successful deer season, keep at it, because it's still going on. And we are fortunate in Tennessee to have a well-regulated season. You have plenty more opportunity to be out there and enjoying those woods. I got a brother that likes to coon hunt. Raccoon season is open. Doing a lot of hunting. There's more coons now than I have ever seen. I saw 5 raccoons last night. It's still a good pastime in East Tennessee. It's a big deal in East Tennessee, and those people are very passionate about their coon hounds. So there's all kinds of different breeds of coon hounds. My brother happens to like treeing walkers. I am looking for someone to take me coon hunting to highlight for our Appalachia At You podcast. But those coon hunters are very important to control those populations of these small predators. And, we talk about upland birds and turkey season. Controlling and managing some of these small predators goes a long way with protecting those clutch of eggs and other things like that. So I've had blue tick hounds. I've had walker hounds. My family likes the plot dogs. So there's a lot of cool things out there for those hunters. And this time of year, growing up in East Tennessee, we would set rabbit boxes, and that's where you make little traps out of wood with a catching system. So a lot of tradition goes back in this time of year with recreating in the great outdoors and hunting and fishing and getting out there. But rabbit season open. Opportunities I feel like are becoming far and few between to get after those critters, but it's great pastimes. Very important management tool. Hunting is if managed and used correctly. So transitioning from that into some education, the National Deer Association came out with this great publication. Growing up as a deer hunter and helping folks manage their land, we hear this term called cull buck. And for those that are not familiar, when you have a lot of deer on your property and you're managing those populations, not only to keep damage to crops and just overall herd health, you can have too many deer on a property. When it's not population controlled, you can have a lot of disease, a lot of issues, vehicle collisions. But a managing deer herd, we would hear this term called the cull buck. So there is a myth out there. If you're growing deer and you're managing deer for mature bucks and you're having a good buck to doe ratio and managing the herd, that you can cull these bucks that have bad genetics out of the herd, ultimately to have a healthier herd and for better harvest of mature bucks. But what the National Deer Association has found is that strike three for the myth of the genetic cull buck is that the latest scientific attempt to improve wild deer antler genetics failed to find the practical method that works in the wild, but it helps shed more light on why the genetic cull buck remains elusive. So basically, you can read this. You can find this at deerassociation.com. They have a lot of good peer-reviewed science-based information out there. What it boils down to, folks, is good habitat management is critical for healthy deer herd. The elusive cull buck really doesn't exist. And what it basically finds is that you cannot cull bucks to really have an effect on a wild herd. So they did studies on the King Ranch out there in Texas by evaluating these deer. Comanche Ranch, on these huge ranches, these 3,500 acre. They had an intensive culling site with an 1,800 acre moderate culling site, and they really found no evidence of successful genetic improvement. And remember, if you know anything about genetics, it's not just the buck that passes those genetics down, it's also the does. So when you look here at the antler growth, time length, and mass, it gives you some percentages of what the antler trait herdability can be. But really, it's pretty simple. Habitat management, nutrition is vital in herd management. So I implore you to look that out for more information. I know that some folks will probably disagree with that. That's been a long-standing practice in some deer camps about the cull buck, but they have some research to back this up. If you'd like to learn more or check it out, you can contact me or your county extension agent. We can help you with wildlife management. But give this a read. National Deer Association, strike three for the myth for the genetic cull buck. But pretty good information there. All right, I apologize. I'll have to kind of bounce around a little bit, but I wanted to share with you the juniper. This is the UT Gardens Plant of the Month. This is a golden accent. This is a golden Pacific juniper, and it is the plant of the month. And it is a splash of sunlight wherever it grows. So great plant to have to kind of highlight some of your areas in your yard. It regularly catches the eye of garden visitors with stunning gold foliage. It was discovered by a nurseryman in Australia and is a sport from the blue Pacific juniper, hence the often seen trademark name, Golden Pacific Juniper. So you can see that at the UT Gardens, but all gold juniper has dense spreading growth habit, averaging 1 foot tall and 8 feet wide. In 6 to 8 years, it is suitable as a specimen, foundation, accent, or ground cover, as well as an excellent choice to use along retaining walls. It looks particularly good as it grows down over the edges. The brightly colored foliage pairs well with darkened leaf plants and is a great addition to conifer gardens. So check that out. That's a great plant for your consideration in your home garden. You hear the intro music, we're going downtown. We are going to check out what's going around. We have some exciting events that's happening around an extension that you're going to want to check out. We already talked about the Master Gardeners, that intern class is in January. So, first event that I want to talk to you about is Hunter's Harvest class. It is a food safety success. So this is a class that we're doing January the 20th, and it'll be about canning venison, carcass fabrication and proper meat cutting, wild game recipes, and food sampling. So it should be a fun time. Me and the Family Consumer Science Agent, Mary Beth Lima, will be doing this course. It is a registration fee of $40, but you'll have a chance to register to win a pressure canner and other prizes. You'll get to sample dishes made from venison, and you'll also learn how to cut and fabricate your own meat. So we'll actually have a carcass that we're going to fabricate. It is after deer season, so we'll be doing it with a lamb, but it'll be very comparable to a deer. I'll be making the same cuts. I will not be making retail cuts of lamb because we're here to learn about venison, but we'll be making the same cuts and breaking it down, deboning it out. So you'll get to witness the fabrication of actually taking a carcass from the hoof to the table. So we'll be outdoors skinning and processing a lamb, breaking it down, and we'll actually be doing door prizes for that meat, so you can take home some lamb to cook. And if you've seen the price of lamb, that is a pretty good door prize. So we'll be breaking that down, to cutting it into different cuts of meat. We'll teach you how to can it, which if you've never canned meat or canned venison, it is a great way to store your meat. It eliminates freezer space, and it's already cooked. When you're done canning it, you can open it up, put it into whatever recipe that you put beef. You can substitute it, add it right in. So we'll be having street tacos, deer chili, things like that for you to try and learn about how to use this great product. So we'll be pressure canning. And if you've never canned, don't worry. We'll teach you everything you need to know. And you may even get to take home a brand new canner. So it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be here at the Extension Office, 1219 MacArthur Road, Maryville, Tennessee. And $40 to register. Spots are going to go fast, folks. We've had a lot of interest in this. TWA, Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, will be on site helping us out that day. But you can scan that QR code with your phone if you're watching it on YouTube. Or you can register at tinyurl.com/3RPY5EST. So you can register at a website, pay the registration fee online, and just show up the 20th, and you'll be registered and ready to attend the class. So we'll be cutting out back straps, making roasts, grinding, and canning venison. So it'll be highly educational if you wish to process your own or butcher your own meat. Like I said, we'll have a lamb. So even if you don't hunt, but you have lamb or you're wanting to get into sheep, we can teach you how to process it. So from the hoof to the table, an all-inclusive class, hunter's harvest class, food safety success. So register for that. Again, if you have any questions, you can contact me, Ronnie Cowan, at 865-982-6430, or you can email me at rcowan2utk.edu. We'll also have these flyers out and about next week, so you'll see them around Maryville and Alcoa, Blount County areas. So check us out. It'll be a lot of fun. All right. In my hometown, they are having their annual Christmas parade December the 9th at 3 p.m. Christmas is through the decades. And our Grand Marshal is a good friend of mine. The reason why I have it on here, he is a dear friend of mine, Michael O'Connor. You see his smiling face if you walk in the Food City there in Seymour. Seymour is located in Sevier and Blount County, a little bit in Knox County. So some of you folks may live in the Seymour area. Come out December the 9th at 3 p.m. You can contact the Chamber of Commerce there for routes and everything else, but wanted you to pass that along from Christmas through the decades. All right, I know it's not Halloween, but I couldn't leave here without talking about an invasive species. Each show we highlighted an invasive species, these spooky and scary, creepy crawler things that cause trouble on the landscape. Let's check out this month's invasive species. This month we're highlighting sericea lespedeza. Just because it's fresh on my mind, I'm helping a landowner manage wildlife on his property, and he has a bad case of this plant. For those that are listening on Spotify and on our podcast platforms, if you can't see this plant, it is a densely green herbaceous plant. It grows very thick, grows in fields, road banks, etc. It was planted years ago with good intentions, but the sericea lespedeza is also known as Chinese lespedeza, and it was planted in the United States as early as 1899 for erosion control. Although proven effective for this and other uses such as food for wild quail populations, it can be considered an exotic invasive species. It is perennial forb and it can grow 6 feet in height, though it's commonly much shorter. The plant has several stems, all radiating from a central stalk. The leaves are alternatively arranged on the stem and contain 3 leaflets. It flowers in late summer. The flowers are light yellow with purple spots, and the seed pod is very legume-like, but each pod only contains 1 seed. The plant is spread by people, animals, and sprouting readily from the root collar, making it less acceptable to killing by moving or cutting. It is commonly found in both open and shaded areas. So unlike most of these invasive species, they did give you a positive. They said it does provide food for quail, but most of the time it's not managed correctly and can grow very thick and dense. So a lot of thatch cover, too much of anything can be harmful, just like in any other situation. But it can be managed. As you see, the green sticks out, so it can outcompete and really degrade some of the diversity of grasses and plant life that are available out there. But it is a tricky one. It's not all bad as some of these other species, but still needs to be managed. If you wish to eradicate it or try to control it, we have some help for you. So sericea lespedeza can be controlled with herbicide using water with a surfactant through July and September. Mowing the vegetation at least a month before treatment can make the herbicide more effective. So if you're needing help controlling this difficult plant, we have a publication. Your county extension office can tell you about the recommended herbicides and applications to try to control sericea lespedeza. All right, folks. Well, I hope that everyone has a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It's always a joy to talk to you folks. We have some exciting shows scheduled for the first of the year, continuing throughout the year. So we'll have some very special guests. We have some exciting things for store in 2024. I will be back in January to do a show, and I will have a guest speaker. And I'm excited. I won't give any hints away, but you will enjoy the chase on our next episode. So I am signing off, and we'll catch you later. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays.